Well, hello there again. Flatlander Mike here from Saskatchewan, Canada. And I'm going to do a video today on snowplow. Well, I've decided to put a snowplow on my unit, and it's a 2014 Viking. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a hybrid system. So what I did was actually got a Swisher snowplow frame from a buddy of mine, really cheap, and it's already been kind of welded and modified, so really doesn't matter what I do to it. And we're going to make it fit my side-by-side. I've ordered a 72-inch coal pin switchblade plow from Canadian Tire. That's a big retail chain up here in Canada, in case you guys in the States don't know. I got it on sale for $499 Canadian, which is probably about the cheapest plow I've seen. They're usually up around 7, 8, and up. So I read a little bit on it, and some reviews, they say it's a really good plow, except it has some problems. Some guys have problems with being a little weak on the edges, so if you hit something, it's going to bend. So I plan on doing a little bit of modification to it, stiffening it up, and making it a little bit more heavy duty. So I can show you what I've done so far. So in case you didn't know, the Swisher plow pushes from the rear. There's a steel tubing that goes right to the rear to your trailer hitch. I have a little trailer hitch bar that I mounted in there. I drilled a hole in it, and this tubing is going to mount to that, and I'm going to actually let it stick out a little bit, and I'm going to put a trailer hitch ball there so that I can pull my shack around on the ice. I just have to loop it around the trailer ball. So I'll give you some little close-up on it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here's the main tube. I've got 2 holes in it here. One, this is going to be for the trailer hitch. This one I have a long bolt that goes in from below, goes up into the bar that goes into the hitch, and I'll show you that in a little bit. It's 5 feet long, and I've drilled a couple of sets of holes in it. There's one here, and then I've got one here and one here. So I've got about 5 inches of play, because I'm really not sure how far I'm going to have this sitting forward or back. Once I get the plow, I'll be able to measure it, make sure that I clear. As you can see, I've got tracks on it, so I'm going to have to get that plow sticking out here so that when I tilt the blade to the side, I don't hit the tracks. So I'm kind of just stuck right now. So this is a Swisher plow, and as you can see, somebody's did some really bad welding on it. It looks like it'll hold, but it's not very good. Some farmer or whatever, which is really nothing against farmers, because they got a lot of ingenuity. This bracket here is what I built. It's just temporarily fastened on there, and what it does is goes up against another piece of angle iron, which I mounted to the frame at the front. So if everything goes right, I'll be able to just put 2 pins in here, one there, through the angle iron and through this. Put a couple pins in, and then it'll stop the plow from going side to side. All the pushing is taken by the back. So when I get the plow, it has a universal mount. So what I'll do is put the mount on. I'm thinking it's going to go somewhere in here, so I might be able to use these 4 bolts here and bolt it onto there. But if not, I may have to move this forward, may have to move this bracket back and mount the plow on the front this way. I would really like to cut this part off here because I don't think I need it. I may end up cutting it here and putting a piece across. But we'll see what happens when the plow comes. Make sure I have clearance to lift it. So it goes all the way back here, and then we've got this is a square tubing here. And I've got it drilled here for this other piece of square tubing here. It slides over the top, and then I got a couple of grade 8 bolts, 1/2-inch bolts that go through with self-locking nuts, and we're going to tighten it down, and then it'll be at the right length. So I'll show you under here. Okay, so here's my bracket here, right here. I've got 2 holes here for the pins to hold up the front of it and stop it from going side to side. It's bolted through here. There's 2 bolts that go for this. You got to take the skid plate off, and then there's the bumper bolts that come down here and they bolt in. Well, all I did was took the bolts out, drilled the hole out to I think it was 3/8. Put a 3/8 bolt through and a nut on the top and a washer. And so that's pretty solid there. It's right onto the frame. Okay, so then it'll just go right back to the back. Okay, so these are my pins that I'm going to use. So I've got a couple of pins here, and these are a little bit long. So I got a couple of plastic spacers, drilled holes in them, and they'll just go through, and then I'll slide these on and some washers before I put them on. Okay, so this is the trailer hitch. This is the bolt. The bolt here that comes through the square tubing. It's going to come up here and bolt on. We've got a couple of washers here that goes between here, and then the nut on the top. So this is just an old trailer hitch shank. I took the ball off, and I've got it pinned in here like a regular trailer hitch. So when I'm removing it, all I have to do is pull the pins out of the front, pull this pin here, and just drive ahead, and this should drop right down. Then I can just back out over the top of it, and it's off. So put it on, drive over the top of it, bring this up. You don't have to unbolt it or nothing. You just put this up, back up a little bit, get it started, and then put the pin in. And then lift it up in the front there, put the 2 pins in, and done. So fairly quick. It's not as good as a click and go, but I figure it's going to work pretty good. So, okay, so a couple other things that I'm going to do. Been looking on the internet, and I found that it's better to use a pulley system to lift with your winch. So I was at the PV Mart when I got the bolts, and I have a couple of pulleys. They're about almost 500-pound capacity each one. And I have a rope on my winch, so that'll be just fine. And then a couple of links. So I bought 2 pulleys in case I'm going to go from out to the plow bottom, up to the bumper, and then come back down to the plow. So I would have 2 pulleys. But we'll see how it works with one, and if it doesn't work, then we'll go the other route. There's the grade 8 bolts. I don't know if you can tell the difference. If you look on the head, this has got 6 slashes on it. That means it's a grade 8. If it's 3, it's a grade 5. So that's something I learned in my mechanic days. And then I've got a long shank trailer ball that'll go right through that 2-inch.